The day the sky went dark, right when the sun was supposed to be at its peak, when shadows are almost absent, when the world feels most certain. And then the light dimmed, not like a cloud passing, not like a storm rolling in. This was different. The sky didn't turn black, it lost its brightness, as if someone had lowered the intensity of reality itself. At first, people didn't react, because nothing dramatic happened. No explosions, no alarms. Just a quiet, unnatural dusk, arriving too early. Imagine this. You're outside, you look up, the sun is still there, same position, same size, but it feels weaker, like it's struggling to reach you. Isn't that an eclipse, you say? But you can't categorize what you're seeing. Your brain hesitates. This is not sunset. It looks like, but it is not an eclipse. It's something in between. And that in between is where confusion lives. So you do what everyone does. You ignore it. Cars keep moving. People keep walking. Phones stay in hands. Because the human mind has a rule. If something doesn't immediately threaten survival, it gets filtered out. But here's where it starts to break. Shadows begin to soften. Edges blur. Depth becomes harder to judge. Your eyes strain. Vision isn't just about seeing light, it's about contrast. Your brain uses light to separate objects, to define space, to understand reality. Remove just a fraction of that contrast, and the world becomes uncertain. People start squinting, not out of brightness, but confusion. The world starts to feel artificial, like a filter you can't turn off. Now scientists start looking, measuring, comparing data. And that's when the real problem appears. The sunlight reaching Earth has dropped, not by half, not even by a dramatic percentage, just enough to matter. A few percent, that's all it takes. Because Earth is balanced on precision, temperature, ecosystems, weather patterns, all tuned to a very specific amount of light. Reduce it slightly, and everything starts to shift. Temperatures dip, not freezing, just cooler. Winds behave differently. The atmosphere starts rewriting its own rules. Still, the sun hasn't changed. 93 million miles away, it's burning exactly the same. So if the source is constant, but the result is different, then something in between has changed, something that can't be seen. Now imagine that, a filter between you and the sun, not visible, not tangible, but real enough to dim the sky. And no one knows where it came from. That's when fear begins to grow. Not loud, not chaotic, but deep. Because darkness we understand, night makes sense. But this is a violation of expectation. Your brain starts asking questions it can't answer. And when that happens, it fills the gaps with unease. Sleep becomes harder, not because it's darker, but because the rhythm is broken. Your internal clock, the one synced to sunlight, starts to drift. Days feel shorter, but the clock says they're not. Time itself begins to feel unreliable. Now think about it. How much of your life is anchored to the sky? Your sense of time, your energy, your mood, your biology. Take that anchor away, or even weaken it, and everything else starts to float. Plants react next. Photosynthesis slows, growth patterns shift. Crops hesitate, not dying, just unsure. Nature doesn't panic, it adjusts, but adjustment takes time, and time is exactly what feels distorted now. Weeks pass, the sky remains dim, not dark, just permanently muted. And here's the twist, people stop talking about it, not because it's fixed, but because it's familiar. The human mind has a limit. It cannot stay in a state of constant alert. So it does something dangerous. It normalizes. Children born into it don't question it. To them, this is daylight. This is the sky. The old brightness becomes a story. Something exaggerated, something distant. And that's when it truly becomes permanent. Not when the sky went dark, but when no one remembered it was ever bright. Because reality doesn't need to be destroyed to change. It just needs to shift, slowly enough, for memory to lose its grip. So now, look up. Imagine the sky you see today, just slightly dimmer, not enough to alarm you, just enough to feel off. Would you question it? Or would you, like everyone else, adjust and call it normal? Call